Understand how Urður Verðandi and Skuld are a law, natural law. As you sow, so you reap. Action always has an equal reaction. What is set forth returns to its origin sooner or later. That is the law of karma. Karman, action. Know Urður Verðandi Skuld to be our own fate-making. They are not capricious, they are all precise. It is the invented only one God who is whimsical and unpredictable, as he depends on who manipulates him and makes rules for him each time. The sins of men resulting in punishment, which is nothing else than our deeds returning to their due owner, sooner or later, cannot be deemed by institutions. Simply trust Urður Verðandi and Skuld. Churchians have St. Peter at the Golden Gate with the sin register. Where do you assume that idea to have come from? No, Urður Verðandi and Skuld, not to be disturbed by our coffee break in Helía. We shall carry our karma with us from lifespan to lifespan. Ævi, Sanskrit ayus. Find out how we do not take skuld so drastically as bad, undeserved fate when we see all life on earth from the windows of Valhöll. Skuld is debt, what we owe, and related is skylda, our allotted duty, also fjölskylda, family. Learn how there is one life, death does not exist, only recycling of created thoughts. So when a body is recycled, there is no death. The individual who used it cannot die, and he shall make another for his next lifespan, ævi. We should know that some smart churchians on an assembly invented the one lifespan only. We learn where, when, and why, for what purpose. They hit upon that cunning invention for the stupid gullible sheep. Some churchians on a church assembly plotting together some centuries ago in southern Europe, more precisely in Constantinople, later Istanbul, formerly called by us northerners Mikligarður, the Great Garden, got a smart idea. Decided to invent a time pressure tool. One lifespan only. A brilliant idea. They planted that into their institutions. Perhaps all churchians believed the invention later on. At least it seems to be stuck in the heads of some of them now, after all these centuries. Caesar from Rome is said to have been annoyed to see the Druids fight bravely to defend their homes and people. The Druids knew that they would be born again, but that was something Caesar is said not easily having swallowed. We knew one lifespan only is a niggardly invention. The word niggardly comes from Icelandic hnuggur, hnugt, frugal, used sparingly, mean. The noun hnugvi. Amazingly enough, some blind sheep still chew on this one lifespan only in the Western Churchian world. What is wrong with our education? I have heard speculations on karma going, but he is a good guy, why does he then have this bad karma? Especially when we see lots of bad guys who seem to have good karma. What is wrong with our education? An ad in that misled world might go, one life, live it, that is, buy stuff now, before it's too late. But we know the cunning churchians had exactly this in mind. Buy absolution for money now, before it's too late, the only chance you have. What did Martin Luther protest? The financing of St. Paul's in Rome by selling of forgiveness of sins. A German bishop was carrying this out in Germany for Rome, and Martin saw that as cheating on gullible sheep. We cannot understand the law of karma unless we see the whole picture. In our misled and badly enlightened Western world, education is very shallow. Urður Verðandi Skuld are not some norns weaving men's örlög. Örlög are our own doings returning to us, and that stuff could be very, very old. Skuld always returns in amounts we can cope with. There is nothing so drastically bad about dying, we do not die. There is life only, but we might have had other plans which could be disturbed. Don't worry, we carry them out later if they are supportive to evolution. Suffering should not be happiness only. While we do not live Valhöll, we do not see the whole picture. We do not always remember past lifespans, and it's also due to lack of proper education. We have to trust Urður Verðandi and Skuld, as they are a law of nature, always right, and we know the course of action to be unfathomable. This was stolen from the Bhagavad Gita and used on the monogod named God, and goes here, his ways are incomprehensible or unfathomable. Of course he is whimsical. He is not fair, as he is a tool in the hands of power-greedy men or money-greedy men. Some say God gave and God took, or God gives and God takes, or something like that, which is not a good enough understanding of the gifts and loss issues of the world. Know that we have control over action. We have control over action alone, never over its fruits. The thicket of courses of actions is too dense for us to have an overview, comprehend. So we do not live for the outcome, only be very careful and purposeful with every action. Do not revenge. Know the Icelandic sagas to be literature, great stories, perhaps written by our Irish settler descendants, great authors, those who wrote them. They seem to some to be the offspring of Celtic culture stories, But by all means do not mix the Icelandic sagas up with heathenry. They are not heathenry, not on heathenry. Do not revenge, as Urður Verðandi and Skuld deal with that issue. Revenge only creates a bad Urður for the revenger. This is heathenry. Educate our parents properly. They must know that they themselves choose time and place and parents for this lifespan. They must know who created their Skuld, and know that right now every their action, thought, word is an Urður, who inevitably, in due Verðandi, results in Skuld returning to them. They learn to purify their physiology, gain perfection. That is what Heathenry stands for. Also teach our parents that they cannot rely on something nor someone out there, as we are all responsible ourselves. Thou self lead thyself, sjálfur leið þú sjálfan þig. We weave our fate, örlög, ourselves,